food security is key. There is none of these farmers who is going to have a dinner from his coffee.
There has been improvement in almost everything.
Hatukuwa tukinjua maneno ya kuzuia wadudu.
Coffee is one of the most important cash crops in Kenya. It is among the top 5 Kenya's foreign exchange earners. The 2 types of coffee grown in the country are Arabica and Robusta. They are grown on the rich volcanic soil that is found in the highlands of the country. Statistics indicate that smallholder farmers produce about 50% of the country's coffee.
We have started milling some of our coffee and we are consuming the coffee.
However, the farmers are among the poorest in the world. They earn little from their labor, partly because of poor agricultural practices. The other reasons are poor marketing and poor cooperative governance.
A coffee tree in Kenya can produce as much as 40 kilos of cherry. But increasingly, when you go out there, you find most of the producers getting less than a kilo per tree.
It is against this background that the Irish Aid in 2008 stepped in through funding to address some of the challenges and transform coffee into a more profitable venture and eventually enable the farmers improve their livelihoods. Kenya was among the beneficiaries of the 5-year program to support the sector, others being Ethiopia, Uganda, and Tanzania. The program was administered by the Irish Fair Trade Network and implemented by Solidaridad Eastern and Central Africa.
The main issue here was how can we improve the livelihood of the smallholders in the 4 countries of Ethiopia, Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya, and help them in the certification programs which have been going on for the last now 6 years in terms of linking them to the markets of sustainable coffee production.
The program's specific objectives were to support training of farmers on good agricultural practices, cooperative governance, environmental conservation, certification of producer organizations, farm input schemes, gender issues, improve efficiency of washing stations, and diversification initiatives. Some of the stakeholders that were involved in the program are Tropical Farm Management, CoffeeNAF, Kenya Cooperative Coffee Exporters Limited, and the Coffee Management Services Limited, a leading agribusiness service provider offering farm management services to the coffee industry in Kenya and the wider East African region.
The roasting companies are requiring traceable, sustainably grown coffees. With that, they are looking for certified coffees like UTZ certified, Fair Trade, and other certification programs which are out there in the world.
UTZ certification emphasizes sustainable farming, better farming methods, and better opportunities for farmers, while Fair Trade coffee is coffee that is certified as having been produced to fair and ethical standards.
If it is Ireland, we tend to make sure that the coffees which go to that area tend to be fair trade. You might go to Netherlands and other countries like Switzerland, which will increasingly say, we want the coffees UTZ certified.
They were taken through rigorous training on the compliance, on how to comply with various issues, the social aspect, the environmental aspect, the transparency, the record keeping.
We use the model that we call Promoter Farmers model. And this model means the training of trainers.
Mbeleni hapo hatukuwa tukinjua maneno ya kuzuia wadudu, hatukuwa tukinjua maneno ya kutoa matakasis, hatukunjua maneno hata ya kuweka rotuba kwa mchanga wetu, hata ya kucontrol soil erosion.
And to make the training practical, demonstration plots were set up with emphasis placed on good agricultural practices.
They also taught us to use the the right kind of chemicals.
One of the key training tools is the coffee calendar drawn by the Coffee Management Services.
Tumefunzwa msimu wa kahawa, kwa hivyo kwa wakati wote tunajua ni nini haswa mkulima anahitaji wakati upi na kiasi gani, kwa sababu tumefunzwa kuchukua hata data.
Then there is the component of training on the management of cooperative societies, given that cooperative societies have in the past been affected by poor management and mistrust.
In the governance issues, you have some of the producer organizations who keep on changing their management. So you'll find that if you have intervened and trained the management of one group, and then you go after a short time, you find that they have changed their management. That, of course, affects the continuous improvement of that particular producer organization.
We also told them to stop the distrust. If your coffee is sold directly to an overseas buyer called X, make sure on your notice board you put that notification that your coffee, this quantity, was sold to this buyer at this price.
Imetusaidia kwa kuwa na transparency ya kufanyia wakulima wetu kazi.
We are practicing the present methods of management to care for our farmers, provide what is necessary. The management now to play their roles so that the coffee farmer now is treated like a customer who should be attracted by good services.
Under the coffee program, youth and women inclusion in trainings was a key component, and for this we ensure that at least 20% was either youth or women in all the activities that we were doing.
There has been improvement in almost everything: cleanliness, transparency and accountability. If you want to know anything, you go to the factory, you get all the information, the number of kilos that you have, the payments that you have got.
The overall goal of the program was to improve the livelihood of poor coffee farmers, and the question is, has this goal been achieved?
3-4 years down the road, the production have gone up by 3-fold, 4-fold, even 5-fold.
Previously, we used to produce around 4 to 3 kg per stem. This time we are going up to even 20 and beyond. Even the payments are good because we have got good quality. If you compare the payment with that one, the last one and this one, there's no comparison because this one is far much ahead. We aren't, especially my factory here, we are paid that 5 shillings. This time we are 57 shillings and 15 cents.
Ulimu wa kawa ndethetie muno nundu kuma mukuru wakwa gukua ninabotire kulima kawa atigire ciana ire cukuru na riu kawa nkwambia kulimira au kagentethereria kuthomithia ciana na kagentethereria kurera ciana inu na mauntu maria miguchane na mubau mucie makwenda mbeca.
Unaona sasa mtu anapata chakula ya kukula kwa sababu ako na pesa ya kahawa. Ukiwa mgonjwa ako na pesa ya kuenda hospitali na kadhalika. Anaweza kununua ng'ombe ya ngirindi. Mtoto akakunywa maziwa namna hiyo.
When it comes to the wider picture, a study conducted by Discovery Consulting on the impact of the project in Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda and Tanzania, these were the findings. Over 68% of the farmers have acquired the recommended coffee production technologies, and their coffee fields have registered remarkable improvement. According to the report, follow-ups on about 20% of the farmers who have not adopted the best agricultural practices are being made and audits conducted. The study further indicates that farmers have been able to realize higher yields and the coffee quality has improved. An average of 68% of the farmers interviewed indicated that their organizations were well managed. The income from the coffee has improved and farmers have become economically empowered. Farmers consequently have become more positive to coffee farming and have more trust and loyalty to the management. In Kenya, cooperative leaders observed that certification reduces politics in producer organizations. But there are some challenges like poor attendance at educational fora and farmers' evasion of repaying credit issued in form of inputs. This undermines efforts to establish agrochemical stores, especially in Tanzania. On the way forward, the report says there is need to pay more attention to gender integration as it was still low. Also, there is need for more efforts to accelerate the coffee certification process. The report concludes that modalities to sustain the program beyond its life should be explored.
I think what has come up is we can now craft better models out of what we have done.